Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are on episode 79, another Go Back episode. We
do not have a problem.
Okay, to be fair, some of these go back to Christmas.
Yes, some of these
go all the way back to Christmas. We just have not had an opportunity. At the time, right after Christmas, there wasn't enough of them to do, and we had to take time to get them played, and then we wanted to finish the R's, I wanted to finish the R's.
You wanted to finish the R's.
So here we sit with 13 we have to go back on. Whatever. Anyway,
never mind.
Before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and of course hit that bell icon if you want notification of future content.
Or click the link below and you can see all of our social media.
All right.
Okay.
13
games?
13 games.
13 games, all new to us.
Yes.
Some old, some brand new.
Yes.
Oh, you want me to pull one? Okay.
Well, that would be a good place to start.
So we're going to start with this one that is the follow-up from In the Footsteps of Darwin.
Yes. Yes.
This is In the Footsteps of
Marie Curie by Sorry We Are French. Okay, so we picked this one up after Christmas with a gift card, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yes.
This one I found interesting. We really liked In the Footsteps of Darwin.
Yeah.
I do really enjoy the simplicity of that game. So, and I thought this was going to be very similar, and it is very much not.
It's not even close to the same game.
And I don't remember if Darwin's did this or not, but this one included an appendix that had a full biography of Marie Curie. I like this. It says biography and explanations. This is the page of explanations. The rest of this is the biography on Marie Curie.
In case you didn't know who it was.
There is a little bit about understanding radioactivity, which I found interesting because it's radioactivity explained to our children, and it kind of breaks it down a little bit. But I thought this was very interesting because it goes all the way from birth, her education, her marriage, her research into radium, how she got sick, the whole works. I thought it was really, really interesting. There were a lot in here I didn't realize that at one point radium was touted to be, now mind you this is back in the 1800s, early 1900s, radium was touted to be a cure-all. And they put it into food and drink, but it was so expensive it was hard to get any viable quantity of it. So therefore there was never enough in there to harm you. In small doses, and unfortunately there were people who overdosed with buying the same thing over and over again and did not go well. But
so that's your history lesson for today.
Let's get to the game. Really interesting. Anyway, okay. So with this one, it's got this actually really neat cube tower, which at first it looks kind of cheap, but it is actually pretty good. So the cube tower goes together like so. I'm not going to push it all together. You are dropping cubes into this each turn. This signifies, according to the rule book, it signifies the short. What, you're looking for the cubes?
No, I was looking for the other end of the. I thought there was another end to it.
No, this is it. This is it. But it signifies the shortage of materials that Marie and her husband had when trying to do their research on radium. So you've got 3 different colors of cubes. You've got pitch blade. I feel like that's the wrong word. What is it called?
It's pitch something.
Pitch.
Or is it just pitch?
No, it's pitch something.
Pitch'em?
Pitch blend. Pitch blend. I was close.
Blend.
You've got pitch blend. You've got uranium. And then you've got radium, which is the silver. And then at the start of every turn, everybody is dumping so much pitch blend into the thing. Depending, there's a tile out that depicts how much you're supposed to drop in. But you're dropping so much of this in, and you're waiting to hopefully have it all come out. It did not. So, and then on your turn, you have a couple of options. You can pull supplies. You can pull so many different cubes from what has dropped out. You can do research papers. You can purchase cards and the cards. So there's a lot going on in this for such a small, simple game.
Yeah, there's a whole lot.
But at the same time, it's really simple. The board depicts, I was going to say there's still at least one in there. The board depicts a time track here on the bottom. And every so often, the time track just kind of ticks down. Certain events make that happen. And then when it gets to the end, that's the end of the game. So you can all see when it's coming. And as it gets to different points in history, and each of these little pieces depict a part of her life, when it gets to different points in history, certain things happen. Everybody gets some resources or can do something during that time in extra action. So I thought it was a really interesting game.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. Sorry. The last cube. Were the others? Did I already pick the others up?
Yep.
I did not remember if I did. Okay.
I think I liked it better than
I think I did
Darwin's,
too. Darwin's Journey?
Well,
Oh,
it's
no,
not Darwin's
I'm sorry.
Journey.
In the footsteps of Darwin.
I think I liked this one a lot better because there was more stuff going on.
I think there's more happening. Whereas in the footsteps of Darwin was...
You were just going around this little area and pulling tiles out
Right.
to make sets.
Right.
What it was.
And this one
I
took
felt
a
like-
lot more thought.
Yeah, it has that whole mechanism of like, I need this and this to put this together so I can get that.
Right, because
And
you
I
can
love
trade
games that you do
resources and
that
things
with.
like that, yeah. This one was a good one. I really enjoyed it, but yet it's still simple. It plays in 20 to 40 minutes. It is not a long game by any stretch.
No.
But yeah, this one's going to stick around. We really enjoy this one. That is In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. All right.
Okay, so next is a game you don't really care for.
No.
This is Picablo. This came out when? 2023.
Yeah. I think you'd seen an ad on this or something. Or
Yeah,
a
I
video
seen
or
it and I was like,
something.
that looks cool. I think that might be something we could play on the 24. Well, we played
you
it
are
at
welcome
our
I said, and you are welcome to.
Well, we played this at our New Year's Eve redo
Yeah.
with a bunch of our friends, and the reviews
It
weren't
did
the
not
greatest,
go
though.
over well.
This is a drawing game where you have
It's
a
kind of almost like Pictionary, but
but there's
sort
only
of.
there's one board, one whiteboard, and everybody has a colored marker,
and a point tracker.
and you have a dice, and you're rolling this dice to see. Well,
What shape
actually,
you're
let's
about.
talk about the cards first.
Okay, so the cards depict two different options. You can pick. Nobody knows what card you have. You can pick which one you're doing. You can even
And
change
everybody
halfway
has
through
one
if
of
you want
these.
to. Yeah, everybody in the game has a card, and everybody's trying to draw a different picture.
Right. You have an easy word and a hard word, and you're trying to draw those.
Here's the trick, though.
It's if you get it the easy one, it's like you move up one space.
Yeah.
If you get the hard one, somebody guesses the hard one, you get to move up 3.
Yeah, something like that.
And
So,
it's the person that gets to 10 first is the winner.
right.
But
How
the
you draw.
part of this is you roll a dice. This dice has a triangle, a line, a half moon, a circle, a rectangle, and a star. Whatever you roll is what you have to start your drawing out with. The star is you can draw any one of these shapes that's on the
Right,
dice.
the star
to-
is wild,
to do it.
basically.
And you just, like, if I drew the circle, I would just, I'm not going to open this up.
Okay.
I would just draw a circle on there, and then I would pass the dice to the next person, and they have a word they're going to do. So they're going to roll the dice, and like they got the rectangle. Now they can draw a rectangle over here by itself, or they can add to my picture if they think it's going to help somebody guess their word.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So-
not trying to help the other person.
And you just do this. You just keep going around a circle with the dice and rolling and drawing new things on the board, trying to get people to guess what you have.
Yeah.
When we played this the first time, I missed a rule, a very important rule.
Uh-huh.
I missed the rule that the star was the wild. And we were drawing stars on our board.
All over the board.
Yes. And with that,
Oh my
she
God.
didn't, you didn't
I
really
did
like
not
it.
care for it.
Now,
I don't even think it was that. It was. I have no problem with Pictionary,
right.
but when you are restricted to the shapes that you can draw, and you have to make a picture of a key out of circles and rectangles, which I guess is actually possible, but some of the words were not so easy.
Yeah,
to
there's some of them
accomplish.
like, how am I going to draw this?
Exactly. And I kept guessing yours, which gave you points. Mm-hmm. So there comes a point where you just stop guessing, and then you don't give other people points.
we played it. It says it's a 2 to 8 player. It is not a 2-player game.
No, it's not.
You need at least 3 players to play it.
Yeah.
More like 4 players at least to play this
Yeah.
to make it actually somewhat fun.
Because typically the person who's drawing gets points, and the person who guessed the drawing gets points.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's 2-player,
Yeah, because if it's 2-player, the 1 player can just like not try and guess it at all.
Exactly,
And the other
because
person's going to guess it. And
I didn't care for it at all.
yeah, and that was kind of the.
Is that the general feeling consensus?
Of what everybody else is. There's like, okay, I'm glad you let us play it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But they said it's not something they're going to buy.
Okay, yeah.
So this one, I'm not sure. I don't know if we said what we were doing.
We did not. I was going to leave that up to you because you liked it better than I did.
Yeah, it's not going to be one that's going to go to 24 because the people have already played it. And
the people who would be here.
Nobody really enjoyed it as much. It got to the point where it was like going, Mary's got the most points. Everybody start guessing Mary's pictures as much as you can.
So she can
just
win.
Draw your picture, most outlandish pictures you can. Just start putting shapes around. Let her draw her picture alone so we can get over with this game. So, but I can see what it's trying to do. I see what it's trying to be fun. I mean, the back of the box makes it look cool. The little thing on the back of the box. But,
yeah,
but to us, it wasn't the greatest game. So yeah, this one may go.
I'll let you decide what happens, whether it just goes to the other collection or whether it goes.
Well, it might go over the other collection. It was a Christmas gift.
It was a Christmas gift. That's true. That is very true. I think we'll probably move it to the other collection with the party games.
Yeah,
we have a collection of party games there.
Yeah, put it with the party
and
games because it's
not
not something we will pull off. So,
I could see teenagers having fun with this, but I think we're the wrong demographics. To put it that way. But anyway, Picablo.
Because we're old and don't have any patience, or what?
Sure. Anyway, Picablo is going to switch over to the other collection. All right.
We have a little game. This is a follow-up to Bandido. This is Bandida. This is the female outlaw.
Go ahead and tell them the rest. You thought you were buying Bandida.
Oh, I thought I was buying
Bandido.
Bandido.
Got there.
And then we got it and realized it was Bandida.
Well, and I didn't even realize it until I went to log it, and I typed in Bandido, thinking that's what it was.
And it wasn't the box.
And it wasn't the same picture. I'm like, is there a different picture?
So we pulled it out and said, oh, it's Bandida.
Huh? Yeah,
but it plays, I'm guessing, we haven't played Bandido. Now we end up going to have to get it. So because this game and Bandido can be joined together to play one game.
Oh my gosh, we can't even win this one.
But this was a lot of fun though.
It was fun. We played it 2 or 3 times.
There's different versions. One version is you're trying to keep her from escaping by closing off all the ends. Well, we failed miserably. So then there was another one where you put the ladder out. You had to close up all the escape routes, but have the ladder in there so she could get out. So you're trying to help her get out.
So everybody has 3 cards, right? And you have this. And then you have cards. I think you draw so many cards and you have to put them out right away.
No, you only play 1 card at a time.
Well, I thought there were so many cards out already.
No, this is what
the only
starts.
Thing that's
this
out?
is the only thing that starts.
I could have sworn there were cards around.
And then you start laying out tiles off of it. But the thing is with this one, it has a 6 passage side and a 5 passage side. So the 5 passage side is a little bit easier. But as you lay cards,
okay, maybe it is that. Okay.
Everything has to match up. So if I laid that, I can't do it because there's another passage here. You can't just dead end passages like that. Now I could lay it like that.
Too easy.
I could lay it like that. I could lay it like this, but that doesn't work, or neither does that.
Yeah, so, I mean, and there's all sorts of cards.
And there's cards with things on it.
You're looking for that.
That dead ends
because it dead ends a passageway, and you block off that opening. We had it down to 1 opening left, and then, every card we pulled had multiple openings on it. It's like
some cards make you pull out 2. Some lets you put in extra cards.
It was crazy.
Yeah, but you can get Bandido with it and play it together, and it's basically you got to try and get them to be together and then escape.
Right.
So it makes it even harder. And we have yet to win this game.
Nope, we have not won this game. This might make a good one on the 24 because it would make. I think that would look sharp from overhead, and you can see all the pathways. So it might not be a bad one, but.
Yep. And I got this from
like 6 players.
Yeah.
4, 1 to 4.
Yeah, and Michael McDade, one of our friends from the retreat, said that he played Bandido, and I was like, that sounds cool. I've heard of it, but how's it playing? He told me how to play. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I seen that on the Noble Knights page for like $5. I was like, oh, there it is. I'll get it. Thinking it was Bandido, but it was Bandida. So
yeah, that's all right. It's still
we'll have to get Bandido together and play and see how different it is.
This guy's
if
going to
at
stick
all.
around.
Yes.
We very much
We had a lot
enjoyed
of
it.
fun with it.
Yeah, we did have a good time with this one. So anyway, Bandida.
Okay, so next we have Harmonies.
This one's gotten played a lot, actually, since we got it.
We played this first at the retreat.
Yes, we played it at the retreat, enjoyed it very much, so we got our own copy. This one has that choose mechanism like Azul, only you take the whole group, not just the certain
I
colors.
think people have compared it to Cascadia.
Yeah, but Cascadia,
It's
you're
'cause
picking one
You're
group.
taking that, and
That's
you can
true.
also take a card.
That's true. So, this is your board, and there's actually two sides to the board, and the only real difference is how the rivers are played out and score. The idea with this one is you are trying to build out a habitat to attract or to house as many animals as you can. There's any number of animal cards set out depending on your player count, and the animal cards depict the type of environment they want. Like this guy wants a field next to mountains too high, 2 mountains of two height. And when I can do that, then I get to place a cube down. Now, when you
actually a
first
bush.
put out, is it a bush? It's
The
a
fields
bush.
are
Oh, you're
yellow.
right. The fields are yellow. I'm sorry. It's a bush. When you first claim this card from the display, you put 2 cubes up here on the scoring spots. And then the first time you build this habitat, you get to
Remove one of the
remove
cubes.
one of the cubes. The second time you do it, you remove the second cube. This guy's done. You set him aside. But see, some of these are a little more difficult. Well, not really difficult because this guy only requires fields and bushes. It's actually fairly easy to build, but you got to do it 5 times to get maximum score on it. So there's all sorts of these in here at all different scoring ranges. This one has 4 scoring ranges, but again, it requires a river next to mountains 3 high.
Now, you could like have that mountains 3 high and then have 3
Yes.
different water pieces around it
Yes.
to score it
the
all 3
only
times.
one that has to be separate that you cannot reuse is the part that has the orange cube on it. So for example, with this guy, if I manage to place, and this is the puzzle behind this, if I manage to get my mountain built right there and there's a river, I could put a cube on that. And if I found another river, I was able to pull more river pieces off of here, and I build my river around, I could put cubes on every one of these because the fish want the river. It just has to be next to a mountain, but they want the river. So you could build this out and just build the river around that mountain, and you're good to go for at least, what is this, 4 of these? And then you can move on to something else. But you can do up to 4 of these at a time. You can be working on up to 4 at a time because your board will hold 4 of them across the top. Any more than that, though, and you got to finish one. There's all different ways to score on this because you're scoring for the river, you're scoring for the height of your mountains, you're scoring for having fields of at least 2. You're scoring for your bushes, depending on how tall they are, compared to your trees, because that is a tree. You're scoring for buildings. Buildings can be on top of stone. They can be on top of, they can be on top of wood, or they can just be on top of concrete, i.e. themselves. And they all score the same, but they can only be too high. So there's all different things you're doing with these pieces that you're pulling off of this board that is all scattered around, and you're using those pieces to build your habitats. But at the same time, trying to score the best you can for the board in general.
Right.
So it's like double-bladed scoring because you're trying to get your habitats, but at the same time, man, those 3 mountains score better, but the habitat I need only needs 2 mountains.
Yeah, because the mountains don't score unless they're together, right?
The mountain, right.
You have
so
to
like,
make a mountain range.
Like what I had done here with this mountain and this mountain, neither one of these would technically score because they're by themselves. I have to have them together. Now they both score because they're a range. Yeah, so there's a lot of small pieces to look at, a lot of small pieces to the puzzle.
And you made it look easy because it's how they come out here, so
Right.
you're not going to get
You don't always
the
get
exact
what you
pieces
want.
you're going to need every time.
And multiple people could be looking for the same pieces, so when they
Yes.
come out, you're not going to get
Like
them.
the last game we played, I was needing fields, and then
3 of
everybody
you.
suddenly needed
I was the
fields.
only one that did not want fields. I was looking for mountains or river. I think I was looking for the river.
Well, I think it was we played with the spirit animals, and my spirit animals needed a certain amount of fields together,
Right.
and I was
Couldn't
having
get the
trouble
fields,
getting
yeah.
that because Sarah and
and-
Jeff had things that they needed fields to go for theirs too. So.
Yeah, it was interesting. But anyway, that is Harmonies. Then like you said, people compare it to Cascadia. Some of the mechanisms I think are similar to Azul, but you're right. I
Yeah,
think it's
the
more like
drafting
Cascadia
part of the tiles
is
is like Azul though, but I think they consider it as because you're building a
the
habitat,
habitat with the
and
animals.
you have cards
yeah.
that you're taking down. So
I can see the similarities with Cascadia. I think it's a good puzzle, though. I really enjoy this one. But yeah, that is Harmonies, and it is going to stick around.
next we have Jakarta Traffic.
This is another one we've gotten a lot of plays in of. All right, so this was a Kickstarter you backed from Indonesia. Very obscure Kickstarter. I'm not even sure how you saw it, honestly. So the way this one runs, the board is made up of a whole bunch of these tiles. There's 3 different types of tiles. There are energy tiles. There are just stop tiles. I guess these are just locations.
Those are pickup areas.
Pickup areas, thank you.
And then the
the
delivery
buildings,
areas,
the delivery areas, yes. Now there is an outer frame, like a puzzle frame. It's down here on the bottom of the box. An outer puzzle frame that kind of holds everything together and keeps it from scattering. But the tiles themselves are 5 by 5. And you see all these little roads on here. All the tiles, roads, that one's flipped over. All the tiles, roads are just a little bit different. And that becomes very important here, actually. So the idea with this game is that you are picking up passengers and or food. And in one variant, you're picking up paperwork. You're picking these up from various points around the game. And I'll show some pictures here rather than try to set anything up. But you're picking these up from various points around the board, and you're trying to deliver them to delivery locations, but not just any delivery location. Every item is wanted at a specific location.
Yep.
Sounds easy enough, right? No, because the locations change. And so do the pickup areas. So as the game progresses, as somebody makes a delivery to someplace, everything shifts.
Yep.
As deliveries are made over here, as the items are delivered, everything shifts. So things are constantly moving on this board. So where you think you may need to go and you're one turn away from getting there, somebody delivers ahead of you and boom, everything's done. And now you need to be across the board.
Yep.
The fun part with this, though, is that to get where you're going, you have this huge network of roads all over the board, including the puzzle board on the outside. On your turn, you start your turn by looking ahead, and you can flip one tile. You can turn it any way you want. Or everybody starts the game with one extra tile next to them, their secret tile, whatever. Everybody can see it, but you can swap a tile. This isn't the tile I want. I don't need that. I take it out. This is now my new tile I can flip. This is the one that goes in its place, and I can put it anywhere I want.
Now,
in
the
that
funny
spot.
thing is, when you do that action, you're supposed to say beep, beep.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, if we do this on the 24, we have to make people do that.
I think it's
That'd be
beep, beep.
hysterical.
You have to say a word. I got to remember what it was.
I think you're right.
I think it was beep, beep.
But
I will look. You
you're
continue
doing
talking.
all of this for victory points. And the victory points are all outlined on here as to how many points you get for delivering what to what location. And of course, it changes constantly. And then the first person to four stars wins the game. The first person to make 4 deliveries wins the game. So the player boards are actually just these little cell phones, which I think are great. You have to have energy to do pickups or deliveries. If you don't have energy, you need to get to a charging station and you can max out your cell phone. That gives you the energy you need to do pickups or deliveries. Another way to get energy, though, is to run into somebody. Land on the same spot as one other player and you get an energy. That player gets an energy, but you get a speech bubble. speech bubbles are points at the end of the game. It's
Mm-hmm.
another way of getting a few points. So there's lots of ways to get points
I think
in
it's
here.
Hong Kong actually.
Is
but
it Hong Kong? Well, either way, beep
Yeah.
beep sounds funnier. I think it's fun.
I like how when you do the honk action and you're turning the thing, it's basically it's representing how easily Jakarta traffic
Traffic
actually
shifts.
can be shifted by just the way the vehicles roll.
Right.
Rolling through. And then on the tiles, it has the little arrow on it that, so if you need to move it, you know which direction
Yes.
it was pointing at. So if you're like, no, that doesn't work, that doesn't work. No,
Let's put it
that
back
one
and let me look at something else.
It makes sure you get it back to the way it originally was.
Yeah.
So you're not alternating it. And did you see on the delivery board that on the other side of it, there's the bottom one is 2 different deliveries.
We haven't played with
This
this
building
side.
has 2 different things to deliver. This one has 2 different things. and
We've
this one's only
always
one.
played this side.
Right.
We've never played this. Oh, wow.
So we need to get it back out and play that side.
I did not even notice it was a dual side.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I just always put it out that way and never even looked at the other side.
But yeah, I do like this game.
Okay.
I'm glad I found it.
I am too. I really enjoy this
And
one.
with all the different mods,
Yeah, it changed. I mean, we've played
we've
a couple of the mods.
them.
They're
They're
okay.
all right.
The base, I
It
think we
doesn't
still
change
have.
anything drastically.
I think we still have a lot of exploring in
Yes,
just the
we
base
do.
game.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, this is a fun one. This is one that if you want to see a playthrough, let us know. We may very well pull this one on the 24. I don't know yet. It's a quick game.
Yeah, it's a very
and there's
quick
a
game.
lot of conversation during it, and that's I like that.
Yeah, because it says 15 minutes
Per player. Yeah, which is about right. I mean,
And
you
it's a
only have to make
four-player game.
four deliveries.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun.
A lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Anyway, that is Jakarta Traffic, and we are definitely holding on to it. All right.
Next we have Preparation H. Oh, I'm sorry, Excavation Earth.
There is a story behind that. It goes back to the retreat.
The first time we played it at the
a
retreat
few years
with
ago,
Jeff Knapp.
yeah. One of the phases is called the preparation phase, and every time I said it, Jeff went Preparation H, and it has just
It's
stuck. Yes. Anyway, because had to read the rule book to everybody because none of us knew how to play it. Anyway, so the board. Oh gosh, this board is very large too.
Yes, it is.
So the board is basically this giant map, and I know you're not going to be able to see even remotely close to it, but here you go. The top of the board is all of the different
Aliens.
the aliens. They're the
Their market.
the marketplace. Thank you, the marketplace. And then you've got market spots here that you have to have your worker at in order to interact with the market. And then you've got all of these, and this map unfolds another time. But these are all excavation locations. And then there are black market areas down on the bottom of the board that you can go to as well if you can't find what you need in the excavation areas. So the general idea with this one is that
Earth has died.
Earth has died. There are a series of aliens. They're looking to pick up artifacts from old Earth. And there's 5 different colors of aliens plus wild, which can represent anybody. And they're looking for products of their color. There's 5 different colors of artifacts.
Well, this is the type of artifact it is. The aliens are at the market.
Well, these are the
different
buyers. I'm
colors.
sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
The buyers are looking for specific colors that represent
Right.
them.
Correct.
So the buyers are here on the board. How many buyers are here depicts how much you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
The fewer buyers there are, the more in demand those items are, the more you're going to get paid if you can sell them in the market. The math is a little wonky when you're doing the selling because there's a lot of math involved in selling. But I mean, once you do a few rounds, you're okay with it. So these are your player boards. You can collect so many items from excavation, so many items from the black market. I find it funny that you can hide the black market items anywhere, but you can only hide it, put excavation items in 3 areas. You can't put excavation items here. I find that kind of funny. It's not reversed.
Well, it kind of forces you to use the black market.
If you want to fill up your board, you have to use the black market. So, and then with the black market, you can buy any item at face value, and the items all have this little bitty number down in the corner that depicts what their face value is. You can buy them at 1 more than face value. You can sell any item to the black market at face value.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to sell in the market, but sometimes you don't have a choice. As you are collecting excavated items or items bought at the black market, you are looking at their color and their symbols, and you can put a security guard on them down here, which security guards are essentially just your cubes. And then this is, again, more set collection type points at the end of the game. You get points for getting all of the same symbol or all of the same color. All of the actions are dealt with by a series of cards. Every action uses a card in some fashion, whether it be for the color to excavate, or for the symbol to interact with the market or with the black market, or to move. There's a move icon at the bottom of each one of these, so you can move your aliens. Everybody has 3. You can split the movement between the 3 if you need to, but you can move a total of 3 spaces on the board. So there's all sorts of different things you can do, but the cards depict what you do. There's even a way you can interact with the future market, and you can literally take one card, lay it down into the future market, take one out of the future market, discard it out of the game, and now on the next round, more yellow stuff is going to be put into the excavation sites rather than whatever color you just replaced. But it allows you to grab stuff off the yellow stack and look through it and buy stuff from it. And to even put more stuff on the board. If you're really looking for yellow, this is a way to get more yellow stuff onto the board, which is neat. Yep. So all sorts of neat actions. I had forgotten how much I enjoyed this game.
And each alien has a
yeah, they each have a special ability. Like I had played the Psychics, so whenever I did that interaction with the future market, or with the future, it's not even called the market. It's what was that action? Survey? It was the survey action. Whenever I did the survey action, instead of pulling 2 items from that color pile, I pulled 3, and I got to keep one for free. That was just my power, which was nice.
I played, I'm not pronouncing their name.
Gosh,
the pilots.
No. Yeah.
That you got to move one of your guys one space at the beginning of your turn.
Yeah.
Without costing you a card or anything.
That was a nice one. That got you around the board.
I got me around the board a lot better.
Yeah, you did end up winning this barely. It was a close game, as I recall.
I was losing this game until you reminded me that I can sell to
the black market.
And I just started doing that.
I think you won by like 3 points.
Yeah.
I was so...
It caught me back up and won the game.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. It is, again, one of those puzzles. I like the fact the cards depict what you can do. And they're multi-use. You can use them for, like I said, you can use the color to excavate. You can use the symbols to interact with one of the markets. You can use any card at all to survey.
Yeah.
And that gets more of that color out on the board. You can use the card to move. You can use any card to sell to the markets.
You get the 3 other move cards.
Yeah, you do get. I did not know, but you do get 3 dedicated moves.
A 2 move, a 3 move, and a 4 move.
You do get those as well. I think there's just a lot going on here. I really enjoy this one.
Yeah. I think I couldn't remember the play of when we
you
first
just remember
played it.
Preparation Age.
I remember Preparation Age, and I just remembered all these little guys up on the one board, and I couldn't remember what that stood for.
Yeah, that was really
But that was about it. But
yeah,
now playing it again, I was like, yes, I do
I
like this
really
game.
like this one. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I'm looking forward to exploring it a little bit more. So anyway, Excavation Earth. We are going to hold on to this one.
Once we put the box lid on, right?
We put the box lid on. Right. See,
There we
it's on
go.
right. It's all good, right? See? Okay. Anyway, it's going to stay. All right.
Next we have
Pendulum.
Pendulum.
Okay. This one was hard to wrap our heads around.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I don't know, even at the end of the game, if I could say that I totally understood the game.
I think I finally got it, but I don't know that I totally understood
It's just got some really odd mechanisms in it.
So this one has a real-time component that you don't necessarily have to use.
Right.
But I don't know if it'd be any better with it.
Right. We were going to play where one round we'd play with it, and the other round we wouldn't play with it.
Okay. So there are different sand timers here, here, and here. all of these different spaces, you've got grande workers and you've got regular workers. The regular workers cannot go where anybody else is. The grande worker can only go where regular workers are or in an empty space. So there is some blockage there. Down here, anybody can go. These are actions anybody can do anytime. The rest of these are more powerful actions, but they're harder to get to. So the key with this one, and this is where it got very confusing, is that as the timer ran out, or in the case of not using the timer for the sand, only for the blocking mechanism.
Yeah, at the end of each round.
Right, it just changed every round. The different timers flipped, and the timers are all different time frames. Like this is 45 seconds. This one is 2 minutes. This one's 3 minutes.
Something like that.
Yeah, it says it right here on the board. That's how I remember.
Oh, there you go.
I cheated. You didn't actually think I remembered
and
that.
on the 4 to 5 side.
Huh? I am. Oh well, it doesn't matter because the other side there's just fewer actions available, so it doesn't matter. The way this runs is that if the timer is on a spot, you can, and you have a guy here, you can do that action and you move him down. If the timer is not on the spot, you can place a guy there or you can remove a guy from there. But you cannot do the action yet.
Right.
But if the timer's up here, you can do the action, but then he's stuck there until the timer moves again. Which could be 45 seconds. It could be 5 minutes if nobody flips it. Because you don't have to flip it when the sand runs out. You just can't flip it until the sand runs out. It was very confusing, and I felt like we kept having to talk our way through that aspect. Oh wait, sand timer's there. I can't move that guy yet.
Yes.
Shoot.
Yeah, because we were constantly thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to, and especially over here because it
flipped back and forth. And this was actually the timer for the round.
Yeah, we played the one where we didn't have to, it wasn't the timers that were doing it. It was at the end of the round, certain timers would move, and that one only moved twice.
Yeah.
Every
round through. Yeah, it was weird. It was... Okay, so in addition to this board, you also have, well, that's a different board. You have your player boards. And the main goal on the player board, you have little pieces here that the goal is to get up onto the parchment, period. There's also one down here that once you've taken this action and you've gotten this piece, which is this really nice silver piece. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice little piece. But once you've done that, you can't do it again. However, if you don't get it at some point in the game, and it is a goal that has to be attained during one round of the game, if you can't match that goal at some point before somebody else does during that round, you can't win unless you have done this. Period. You can't win. At the end of the game, the winner is... First, whoever gets all their pieces up into the parchment area. If nobody did, then it is the person who has the fewest amount of spaces left to get to the parchment. Yeah.
We did not get hardly anything into the parchment.
No, we didn't. We didn't. There's a lot more to it than that. There really is, but that gives you the basis of it.
It was a game that I felt that was just, it was made to be complicated. More complicated than it needed to be.
I felt like there was a lot of complication. It was convoluted. It wasn't even complicated. It was convoluted. We didn't really talk about what we're doing with this one. I did not really care for it. And I don't see me ever pulling it back off the shelf.
It would be interesting to discover some more, though, but I don't want to, if I want to invest the time into trying to discover it some more. And playing the other characters and seeing if it was anything different. Now, it is a Stonemaier game, so in the other collection, it might come off the shelf. I don't know. I don't remember what this is rated.
We may have to look at the rating on this one and let that be our decision.
It's probably going to leave our collection.
Yeah.
Now, whether it goes to the other collection or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't see myself pulling it off.
I don't either.
Because I don't think I want to invest any more time into it.
I feel like there are so many other great games I want to explore that this one would, it's just not there.
Yeah.
This one is a TBD.
Yeah, it could be a good game for some people that love.
If you like that real-time
real-time
mechanism and that
mechanism,
chaos that real-time brings out,
Mm-hmm.
it could be. So for now, let's move it to the other collection. When we get through with everything and we start really looking at the games in that
Mm-hmm.
collection that are left, we'll see what happens. But for now, we're going to move this to the other collection.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Next, we have a game we played last night.
We did. We've
This
gotten to play this a
is
couple times now.
Petrichor. We have played this version, and we've also now got to play the deluxe version.
The deluxe version, we did. Which,
we need the deluxe version.
honestly, the pieces are identical except for the clouds. That's the only
we need
difference.
the little martini cloud glasses.
Yes, the clouds look like little martini glasses. You are very right. Okay, did you notice the box art was very different on that one too?
Because the deluxe holds the expansions, and
Oh.
the two animals that are on it are the two different expansions,
I
the
did not
cow
look at
and the bees.
Did not look at it that closely. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this one is all about how to make rain and growing your crops when you can make it rain.
Yeah, well, it's how rain interacts with all the plants and stuff.
Yeah. So, and this, I find this funny. The definition of petrichor, which is right here on the box, says the pleasant earthly smell after rain. Oh, it was kind of cool they put that right there on the box to explain why they named it this. All right, so with petrichor, again, you're trying to make it rain to interact with the crops in order to get points. This is the main player board. Well, part of the main player board, I should say. This tracks the seasons and what happens at the end of the round. It tracks whether there's going to be a harvest, your harvest points, your rounds, and then your victory points. And there's actually double-sided because you can play this game either in 6 rounds or in 4 rounds, depending on the length of game you want. And I will tell you, there is a huge difference between that 4-round and 6-round game.
We played a 6-round last night.
It took us, now mind you, it was 4 players. We were all brand new to this game. But it took us about 3 hours to play a 6-round game. So, all right. So
and numerous times of trying to wipe the board off.
Yes, I do not like the fact that they made it look waterlogged and dirty.
It has leaves over here. It just looks like
dirt.
Well,
and
on the board.
and this I kind of got right away, but it's this waterlogged.
Yeah, it looks like
that,
something got spilled on the board and it was scratched up over here. And
it's kind of weird. Anyway, so depending on your player count, your board is made up of so many plant tiles, and there's actually 16 tiles. You're only ever going to use between 8 and 12, depending on your player count. All different things on this. So like this one is the coffee, and there is gypsum, and that's corn. That's basically corn.
Maize.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they give like the official names on these.
The scientific names.
Yeah. Sativa?
That is rice.
That's rice. Okay. Geez, just put rice on it, people. Potatoes, I know what that one is, despite the fact it says Solanum tubersum. Okay. Anyway, all these different tiles, different scoring factors on them. Each of the tiles depicts, well, 1, something for solo, but 2, in the little raindrop is how much rain has to be on the tile in order for it to trigger for harvest. And then the scoring for the first player with the most, second most, third most, fourth most raindrops on the tile. So ours comes with these, this is your clouds. The deluxe version, like you said, has little martini glasses. I'll show a picture. I do have pictures of them. Raindrops in the game are depicted by, I found it funny. We played this last night with some new friends, Rob and April, and I found it funny that Rob called these Pente stones. And I'm like, yes, yes, somebody else who knows the game Pente. Anyway, and
April did not.
April did not. Which
She's like, Pente, what is Pente?
Exactly. I was like, oh, we got to play that sometime. So anyway, raindrops are depicted by Pente stones. There are 4 different actions you can do during the game, and the actions are all signified by play. Well, I'm going to show the cards. Play of the cards. Everybody has so many cards per round. There is sun. Sun lets you drop. Sun lets you add 2 raindrops to any cloud you're in.
Yes.
Then there is, that's more sun. And rain lets you take 1 out of that and put it onto
the crop
the tile that you're on, the crop that you're on. So now you have 1 drop on that tile. It's sprinkling. Oh, that's more rain. That's more sun. There's wind that lets you move
One of your clouds.
one of your clouds to a neighboring tile somewhere. If there is another cloud on that tile,
It clashes.
those two merge together and become a thundercloud. And you just dump and combine all the stones together. That's the wind. And then there is the frost. The frost lets you take a brand new one, put one of your raindrops into it, and place it onto any empty crop. Those are the 4 actions you can do during your turn. If at any point any one cloud has more than 4, or if 2 clouds are joined together, if there are multiple colors in there, then they become thunder clouds. And you get a little thunder lightning thing right there on top of it. If later on you get 8 into one, I'm not going to pull 8 out, then the whole cloud dumps. It rains, it pours, because it was a thundercloud.
And then the cloud goes away.
And then the cloud goes away. But now this tile that only needed 3 technically has 8 on it, because I just made it dump with 8. So this becomes harvestable. So we'd put a harvest token on it, and when the dice depict we can harvest at the end of a round, this would now score points. And then everybody's raindrops would come off of it again, and we have to start over again on that tile. At the end of every round, there is at the end of every turn, somebody is voting. Based on the card play you've done, you can vote on you can vote on 2, you have 2 options to vote out of the 4. So, for example, if I had played a sun card, then I could vote on either sun or wind to trigger at the end of the round. Or I could take one of these dice that is showing the pips, and it looks like little seeds, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I could pip it down by 1 and gain a victory point. If it's at the 1, I pip it down to the harvest icon and gain 2 points.
I thought they looked like hockey pucks.
Right, they look like little cookies, actually. But anyway, but then I would gain victory points toward the end of the game. If all 3 dice show the harvest symbol, then at the end of the round we harvest, and anybody who has the harvest symbol on it would trigger their scoring. I really enjoyed this.
Yes,
I enjoyed both plays of it.
I liked this a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I did too.
To the point now I want the cloud martinis glasses.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know
Rob.
if you're right. So yeah, very enjoyable game. It is a very interesting puzzle, because at the end, some of the tiles, okay, I may not have majority on it, but it's important to at least get 1. So if I can get a presence, you're having trouble getting that guy in there. If I can get a presence on that tile before harvest happens and it scores, what is your...
I don't know. It doesn't want to go in.
Right there.
No, that don't fit that way.
Like that.
Yes.
But it got to the point where as long as you could get 1 presence onto a tile, it meant points. You may not have gotten first place at points, but you got points. So it was a matter of, we were trying to take advantage of moving things as much as we could. It was fun. Go this way. You lined the box up, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Or you turned it on me so that I would put it on. You turned it on me, jerk. I should have left it just to be spiteful.
No.
Anyway, Petrichor. The pleasant earthly smell after rain is going to stay in our collection. We very much enjoyed this one. All right.
Next we have Forges of Ravenshire.
I really like this one. I did not expect to. Based on the artwork and the, you know, it doesn't look like it would be the kind
Well,
of...
I'd heard a lot about it, why I wanted to buy it. So,
Yeah.
But I had heard a lot about it, and what I heard, I said, that sounds cool. I want
Yeah.
to play this game now.
I had not heard anything about it. So when you picked it up, I'm like, okay. I like this game, though. Okay, spoilers. So...
Gee, where will it go?
I know, right? Okay, well, we've talked enough about it, then. I guess I can...
All right.
Okay, so the way this one runs, this is essentially a dice placement game. Your dice are your workers, and your dice colors change depending on what you've done through the game.
Well, it's a dice placement engine building game.
Yes. At the start of the game, there are dice randomly put out in various numbers on the board already. When you take your turn, everybody starts the game with one dice of each color. There's 3 different colors in the game. When you take your turn, you place a die into one of these 6 areas to do something. How strong the action is depends on the number on the dice. So for example, if I were to put my dice here in the charcoal area and I have a 3, I would get 2 charcoal. If I had a 6, I would get 2 charcoal and is that a gem or a...
I believe that is an ember. Yeah,
ember?
that's an ember gem.
So what the strength of the action depends on the dice number you put there. So after I've done that, I've gained whatever resources I'm entitled to. Now I pull a dice, not the one I just placed, but I pull a dice off the board. And then I do that action based on the number there. So if I pull a 2 from over here, I'm picking up 3 wood and whatever that is. A dragon scale, thank you. 3, we haven't played this in a couple of months, so I'm like, okay, wait, what are these?
To get it back out.
Oh, I want to get this back out so bad. Anyway, 3 wood and a dragon scale. If I pulled a 2 from here, then I take that die and I place it. If I can get down to the bottom of the board, everybody has their own player board, dual layered player board. I place that die up here based on its color. And then I get to do more actions based on what I have put here throughout the game. You're tracking your resources over here. There's also these resources that you're picking up too. So,
and these all upgrade too.
They do. There are different tiles in here. Under here, these are the tiles that go into here that give you various benefits when you place a die into that area.
Put it in the right area.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it goes in the yellow area. But so if I had pulled a yellow die off of that lumber area, the wood area, then I would get to activate all of this, whatever is here. So that this is your engine building part of it. And then there are tiles, like you said, there are tiles, and I don't know where those tiles are. Are they underneath? There's there's not a second layer there, is
They're right here.
Oh, those are right there. Oh my gosh, right in front of my face. These tiles, again, upgrade. This would upgrade this one right here. Yeah, this would upgrade down here, so that when you place a die here at the end of the round, you get better actions, because these are all end of the round type stuff. So.
And then you have the market upgrades.
Yes, yeah, you can also upgrade your market. So all of these are just so interchangeable. I love it. I really enjoyed every bit of this game.
Yes.
I really did. It was such a neat puzzle to try to work out.
I do good.
You do good. You did good. Yes. You do good. Really?
I do good.
You do good. Anyway, very, very enjoyable game. I am looking forward to exploring this one a whole lot more. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Forgot all about the sheet that keeps everything in place, which is a lot of unnecessary plastic technically, but at the same time it's necessary because it keeps everything all neat and organized. Anyway, Forges of Ravenshire, very fun game. Looking forward to exploring this one a whole lot more. Yes. It is going to stick around. Ha-ha. Anyway. All right.
Next we have the latest Shim Phillips game, Inventors of the South Tigris.
Tigris, yes. This
I
is
had did I get that right?
You called it the West Tigris last time we talked about it. Okay, this is one that I feel like, again, it's going to take a lot more exploring.
Yes, it is.
To figure this one out.
They just had a Kickstarter for all the expansions for the West Tigris.
Yes, which we did not back.
South
we figured,
Tigris.
well, see, you did it again. And I agreed with you. That was sad. We've only gotten to play this once for clarity's sake, but I enjoyed the play.
Yes.
I definitely want to explore it some more.
It has a lot of cool mechanics.
It does. It very much does. Okay, so with this one, it looks very similar to most of his other games, or for all of the other games in the South Tigris series. This was the last edition of the South Tigris, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep. Now they're getting ready to do the
Wayfarer
East.
Scholars, and now this one. So the basic idea with this one is you are designing building and testing experiments. The big key with this one is that it doesn't have to be the same person who does every action.
Right.
So if I design an experiment and it's going to go down in, well, let me pull this back up again here. It's going to go down here in this area of the board. Then underneath, this board has a lot of stuff going off the bottom of it. Then I get certain benefits from doing that. But maybe somebody else is going to take that invention and they're going to build it. Then they get benefits. I still get benefits because I designed it. But now they're going to get some benefits for building it. Well, then maybe now, okay, wait, you built it, but I'm going to test it. I would get different benefits for having done that. The builder still gets benefits, but I get benefits for doing the testing and for having designed it. So it's not cooperative, but you can definitely make use of things other people do. And it's a very interesting idea with that. So similar to a lot of his other South Tigris games, it's dice placement, dice manipulation to do all of the various actions, and those dice and what you've got allow you to do specific things. But one thing I want to mention on this is how cool some of this stuff is. So this is your device board, and then you have your device cards. When you decide, everybody has so many cards in their hand at the beginning of the game. When you decide to build something, you take one of the boards that's out and you place your device card on it. And this depicts what you're trying to build. For example, this one is a wind-powered hourglass. That sounds kind of messy. I don't know. But it lists something here, wind-powered, and then it shows what the device actually is. So it's a wind-powered hourglass. Or maybe we'll do... Oh, this doesn't sound any better. A wind-powered, is that phonographic? Pinhole. Pinhole. Wow. Wind-powered pinhole camera. I'm not sure how that would work either. Let's find something that's not wind-powered.
A water-powered.
That's not any better. Okay, so this one is a trick. A trick hourglass. I can totally see you inventing this. A trick hourglass.
Why me?
I don't know. A spinning pinhole camera. Now, we did have one, like one of the devices we made was a folding compass.
Yeah.
So that actually exists. So it's kind of neat.
Could you imagine if it was the one like you had and it would have been like a folding jar?
I had the bookcase at one point, a folding bookcase. Which, I mean,
that's
those
actually
exist.
out there.
They do. They are. You're right.
A reciprocating camera. There you go.
Oh,
but, yep.
Okay. I just thought that was neat. That small little attention to detail I thought was pretty cool. So we both very much enjoyed our one play of this. We definitely want to explore it some more. I'm looking forward to exploring it some more.
Understand it.
Yes. But yeah, this one is going to stick around. Very much enjoyed it.
Yep.
So, but yeah, Inventors of the South Tigris. Oh my gosh, that is a heavy box. Okay.
Next we have camping with the box lid upside down.
Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. And yes, the box lid is upside down, which is probably my fault because I'm in the middle of editing a gameplay video of this. And I was pulling cards out the other day for part of the video. And I apparently did not put them back on right, or it back on right. Okay. I have got a lot of pictures of this one, so I'm probably just going to show pictures rather than dig all this out. But I did want to show you these really nifty game trays. This one comes with all sorts of game trays that depict tents and pull behind campers, which I thought was kind of cool. All right, so the idea with this one is you are trying to race up to Bear Mountain. And why did I suddenly get this envision of Race to Witch Mountain? As soon as I said that.
You're racing to Witch Mountain. That's called Bear Mountain.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
The witch left because the bear ate it.
Whatever. Anyway. So the board depicts a number of different campsites. Campsites inside of campgrounds, 5 different colors of campgrounds. And you are one by one moving from campground to campground by paying various resources. The resources being all of the tokens that you obtain from card play. You've got bikers and hikers and what have I got? I've got bikers and is that the fisherman? That's a fisherman. And then you've got,
A
no, that's the
sunbather.
canoer. That's the fisherman. You've got a sunbather, a hiker, a bird watcher, a swimmer, and then firewood. Those are the 8 basic resources in the game. And then you've also got campfires, which act as wild tokens. But you are paying different tokens in order to build your decks. And that is the big key in this one. It is a dual deck builder. You are building 2 decks at the same time. I think that one, it's kind of interesting. And then as you're moving, the board, oh crap, I guess I'm going to end up pulling this board
got
up anyway.
pictures.
I do, but I kind of want to just point it out. So the board, as you're moving, the board depicts what you get on your next action. So like if I were to go to this campsite, I would get 1 card out of my blue deck, 1 card out of my green deck, and 2 coins. Coins are used to upgrade your campers so you can hold more supplies. They are used to purchase wild tokens, the wildfires or the wild campfires. They are used to purchase backpacks, which lets you draw extra cards on your turn but can only be used once. They are used to purchase, no, you can't purchase the bells with those. You have to use
purchase the
resources.
granola bars.
You can purchase granola bars, which lets you wipe the display of cards for sale. All sorts of things for the coins. But you're moving from one campsite to the next. When you move to green, to the next one, which is folded up inside of here. It's the purple, but I can't get to it without unfolding the whole board. Anyway, each of these campsites, each area, like here's the yellow area. If I were to move into the yellow area from the purple area, then I would have to look at one of these campsites and pay those resources. That's my admission fee into that campground. Once I'm in that campground, I can move around from site to site for free on each turn. But in order to get into that campground, I have to pay for one of these campsites.
The Mammoth Peak National Park.
Mammoth Peak National Park, thank you. Eventually, you're going to work your way around all the way to the brown or the red area. It's depicted by 2 different colors. And then once you can get what you need there, get all your resources. You have to have 2 of every resource. And then get your card. There is one specific card that has to be in your hand. Hence the purpose of the dual deck building and the strategy behind the dual deck building. Because you have to have a specific card in your hand, 2 resources of each kind on your player board. Then you can traverse up into Bear Mountain. And that wins you the game.
Win the game.
Yeah. There's no points. There's no
race.
second place. It is a race. And the first player to Bear Mountain wins the game. It is a really neat game. I've enjoyed every play.
Yep.
I can see where eventually it's probably going to get samey. However, on the back of this board, at least on the version we got, because we got the Kickstarter board version, there is there's an alternate game. And now instead of racing to Bear Mountain, you are racing to get to 3 of the 5 waterfalls that are on here. And the movement changes up. How you move changes up. It's kind of interesting. We've only played this side once. And I did very much enjoy this one. This side we've played quite a few times now. Because we've been teaching it to people. But I very much enjoy it. I do enjoy the game. I can see where eventually it might get samey. But so far I'm still enjoying it. So. Anyway, that is Bear Mountain Camping Adventure, and it is going to stick around. So, but yeah, we did do a gameplay of this one. Hopefully have that out in a few weeks. So, yep. Next.
Okay, next we have Namiji. This is the follow-up to Tokaido.
Tokaido, yes.
This is basically the water version of Tokaido.
Yeah.
It plays pretty much the same thing, same way. But this time you're just going around the lake.
Yes. I think the board is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous, and everything has a place on the board, just like in the other one.
Yeah, because you're still building your
panoramas.
Panoramas. I can't remember what they call that.
Yeah.
You still had the souvenir shops and stuff, but you had the docks where you could get food at.
Yes.
And stuff. But yeah, it still plays pretty much. You had a fishing area you could go to pull out fish.
Yeah, it added that
like
fish mechanism to it.
Yeah, but it gave that a little bit of a push your luck, because if you got 2 crabs, because I think it was shrimp, it was different fish you're pulling out. But if you pulled 2 crabs, you lost everything.
Yeah.
Of what you have pulled out.
Pulled on that turn.
That turn, right.
That catch.
Yeah, but it gives you the
Yeah, because it was,
a set collecting.
you had a board to hold your fish on
Yep.
when you went fishing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy this one.
Yes.
I think it's just like Tokaido. It's very serene.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this was a good refresh of Tokaido. It just
Yes.
kind of refreshed it and gave it a new look, and I like that. So, but yeah, very pleasing. All right, but anyway, that is Namiji. I know there's a very quick description, but
Well, if you played Tokaido, you kind of
Yeah.
understand what the game is.
yeah,
It's one of those games that it has the
last player goes next.
the last player goes next, so you can go as far down as you want on the track. You can't go backwards, but if you go
Yeah.
pretty far, these people could be just slowly going up, and
Yeah.
they could get like 4 turns before you take another turn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you got to watch how far you're going ahead. If you're
Yeah.
going to jump that far, it better be something pretty important.
yeah.
Because you're not going to get a turn for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. The artwork is beautiful. But
It's
yeah,
just a simple box cover.
yeah, it really is, but it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's very serene again. Anyway, that is Namiji, and it is going to stick around.
And last we have Steffenfeld's Civolution. This is a beast.
This is a beast. You've been looking for this one for a while.
Yes.
We have some friends who have it, and we were going to play with them and never got around to it, and you found it at Hitherto, and we grabbed it. Because it is Steffenfeld, because we'd heard such good reviews on it. Otherwise, we probably would not have spent the money without having played it first. But being Steffenfeld fans and liking hard or crunchy strategic games, it seemed to fit. So this one has a couple of different boards. You've got your action board. This depicts all the actions and exactly what's happening. There's a tile that just kind of moves down the way. You've got your weather cards and what happens based on the weather for that round. And then this is
the era scoring. The
Yes,
tile that's
era-
on
yep.
here is going to score
at the end of each era. And then this one had to do with, oh my gosh, you had
favors.
the favor track. Yes, you wanted to get up on that
Favors and
track
temples.
because it helped your dice rolling.
Yep.
All right, so there's that board. That's laid out. This board is all of the various tracks, and then there were some other things over here, some tiles that you could pick up throughout the game as well, based on what you were doing.
That you want to pick up during the game.
So the board is, again, it's another one of these puzzle piece boards that holds in the entire frame. And then the board itself is made up of all of these tiles that kind of, and it's all modular, lay together, and then there are hexagonal tiles in between them holding everything together. The player boards, I think, are really interesting on this one. So everybody has these player consoles, is what they're called. If I can get them out, here we go. Double layered player consoles, and this is where all of your dice go, all of your upgrades go, all of your resources go. Everything is tracked on this board. Cards and tiles that you pick up go up here, and these score based on how far you get them up in the stage count. So I think that is very interesting. It takes up a lot of space on the table, though,
Yes, it
because of
does.
these. We barely fit it on our table at 2 players. One of the things I like about this one is this storage solution they give you. Each player, there is no plastic in this storage
No, there's
solution.
not.
Each player has their own little tuck box with all of that, fits all of their pieces, all of their wooden pieces, all the dice they get for every round, all of their upgrade tiles, everything is in this. There is one box that holds just miscellaneous, all of the miscellaneous chits in it. And then the other box holds
the cards.
all of the cards that are in play in the game. I love the storage solution. I thought and the bottom of the box, I don't know if you can see, this will show up on camera, but the bottom of the box even tells you where everything goes. And I think that was very well done. I like that.
This card box I really liked because of the dividers for the different ones and the way they designed the cards. They put the type of card right there,
Yes.
and with the dividers,
That's
the
what you
dividers
see.
are cut out to show that. So
Yeah.
you don't have to say, what is that? What is that? You can just sit here and go like this. Like now you can see it just by going down
Yeah.
the line.
I like that. I really like
Very
the
helpful.
care they took in the production of the game. I'm not going to go too heavily into the gameplay
Because
itself.
there's so much. It's a Steffenfeld game.
It's a
point-
Steffenfeld game. It's point salad.
Yep.
It is extremely crunchy, but it is essentially a dice placement
Dice
game.
manipulation.
You
and-
start the game. You start the game with 6 dice. You have the ability to buy more throughout the game.
They are your workers.
They are your workers, and every action takes 2 dice to activate it of specific numbers. There's ways to manipulate that. There's ways to buy more dice, but essentially you have 6 dice. You have 3 actions per turn. You might gain a few more with some gameplay, but that's it. I really like this one. We definitely need to explore this one some more. Anyhow, that is Civolution. Needless to say, it is going to stick around. But that's it for this episode. That is all of our go-backs at the moment. I'm sure there will be more before we get through the S's, no doubt. We'll try not to let them build up to 13 again, though. Anyhow, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed all this. Please let us know if you have any of these, if you want to see a gameplay of any of them, other than camping, because that's coming. Or Picablo, because I refuse. Yeah. Anyway.
But until then, we'll see you at the next one.